Hey, how's everybody doing today? Let me, since we're started, uh, let's share this out on Twitter at least, and put a link in our Discord. And we are on live on Discord right now. Okay, there we go. Here we go, we're gonna save the day. Da, 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 da. Notification. Okay, so 14. There we go. Okay, so. Oh, we need to shrink that down so we can start on it. Okay, so. Yeah, we're on Joker Face. Cleaning him up. And then Frankenstein Face, although he's not so much Frankenstein Face in here. And then doing Toxico. Okay, so first up is the hair. Things are about to. Hey, Spoon Knight, update me on things that I don't know about while I turn screws. Okay. I will be having a Kickstarter. Um, starting September 1st. Canadian Shield is in demand on Indiegogo and fund it with $1,700 Canadian. Um, not sure what else. That might not know about. Lots of things you probably don't know about. Okay. And how are you today while you're turning your screws? If you're turning your screws, does that mean you're screwed? Okay, so this should be panel 2, right? Okay, now that's a that was the green hair is that one. Oh, I know what you haven't seen yet. My fine feathered fan. I heard John came out of the closet. Yeah. Here, let me put on my video capture. Something that you have yet to see, my friend. Mess. The first Canadian Shield action figure. Okay, really? Let's go down that low. Hopefully you can see this. What do you think, Spoon Knight? And I was at a comic convention yesterday. Um, Fan Expo in Toronto. Got quite a few comic books. One called Group of Seven. I need to. There we go. Group of Seven. And I think you've seen this big guy behind me too, right? There's one group of 7. Um, I'll slowly show what I got there. Uh, Another couple books, toolbox, uh, samurai astronauts. Are you still here? Good night, spoon. Night spoon. Good night, spoon. Um, an alternate cover for a Betty and Veronica comic. Paid way too much than what you normally pay for this, but oh well. Dim the brakes. Okay, so I don't even know whether you're still here. Am I showing this stuff to nobody? Okay, well, till I get more people in, I'm gonna not show stuff and get back to calling. Hey, Jeff, how are you? Oh, Jeff. Yes, just preoccupied with the work. Did you see me show off my action figure? Good night, spoon. Um, yeah, you're always wondering about novelists at Comic Cons. When I was at the one yesterday in Toronto, there had to have been at least 10 novelists there. I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but in amongst Artist Alley, and I even got a series of books from the one. No, I did not see the show. Well, I thought you saw the action figure before, Jeff. But just in case, we can show it again. And that was like probably one of the biggest in the area. Yeah, I was just showing it off a little second ago for Spoon Night. I only got novels from one guy. I actually got 3 of his novels. It's a series, superheroes in space, sort of. So there's the first one. Second one. Third one. Oh, cool. Just for a little bit or for more than a little bit? Spoon Night. Night the Spoon. A couple other another few comics here. I'm hoping to read these and do a little bit of a review on them. Like a month. Oh, cool. Well, hopefully soon. I should have my passport sometime next week, but the only problem is there's that ArriveCan app, which I do not want to download on my phone and do not want to fill out coming back to Canada. So I've put off whenever I go to the States next till that's gone. And hopefully that will be soon. There's another one. Like a month? Oh, okay. So you're only going for a month. I guess that's good. I guess they'll put you up in a hotel or whatever. A free comic I got. and another couple Northgard. So I got a pretty big haul of comic books, and I got one print. Oh, and I was talking with a guy there that does sculptures and supposed to do custom action figures and stuff like that. I might end up working with him on doing the rest of the Canadian Cross Comics action figures. Sounds like we might be able to get them cheaper done through him, and maybe even somewhat but more mass produced. But I did get a little sculpture that he had made of him of the Juggernaut. And so there's a little bit of what I got there. Okay, so back to coloring. So yeah, September 1st we will be starting the Kickstarter. That's a Thursday. I'll probably even do a special, make sure I'm doing a show for that, the launch of the Kickstarter. Canadian Shield 2 and more on Kickstarter. Although I doubt I'm going to see anybody pledging in the first in that stream. Most everybody I know here is more Indiegogo. Okay, so put that back up to full. We got the green hair now to deal with. So how has everybody's week been so far? Uh, Hopefully I will be doing this. I'm planning on minimum of 3 times a week from to get back into the streaming of 3 times a week. I'm not setting an exact time for what time I come on. It'll probably be in the afternoon. That's almost a sure thing. I had meetings always. What do you believe are the factors that determine whether you get into heaven? Um, According to scripture, there's only one um, factor, and that is whether you believe in Jesus Christ. Not just about, but believe in Him. Um, I came to work today without my computer glasses. It makes coding interesting. I can believe that. Yeah. Most people call it being born again. or most Christians. But yeah, that's according to Scripture. John 3:3. Verily, verily, I say unto you, unless a man is born again, he cannot enter the kingdom of God. And what's that look like? Ultimately, it comes down to, I would say, look at the thief, the two thieves on the cross. One believed Jesus was who he said he was, basically, was saying, this guy did nothing wrong. Remember me when you get into your kingdom. And Jesus said to him, today you are with me in paradise. So you don't have to live a good life. You just have to basically tell God you're sorry for your sin. Accept him for who he says he is. I know it sounds like I'm saying more than just believing in him, but that's part of believing in him. Sort of putting your faith in him. Like you got to believe in a doctor to go under his knife, right? He could do anything well under that knife. You got to believe that he can, heal you or whatever. I like the feather theory. Okay, I think I've heard of it, but remind me. But the thing is, with this one, it puts everybody on the same playing field because as Ephesians 2:8-9, how Ephesians 2:8-9 says, for it is by grace that you are saved, not anything you have done, so no man can boast. I paraphrased it there because I know I didn't get it word for word. The heart weighs as much as a feather in your in. Yeah, that's definitely not the way it happened according to scripture, anyways. That sounds a little bit of almost. I was watching the Egypt. That sounds like it comes from the Egyptian stuff. That's why they do it in Egypt. That's the way they do it in Egypt. Yeah, basically just saying what I said. Going off of what I learned, and however how true it is from um, the Moon Knight series. And that would go with your whole shtick that you've had in the past. Too. Moon Knight is 100% scientifically accurate, including superpowers. Now, are you talking about the um, live action show or the comic? Good night. Okay, so that got that done. Shtick. I was seriously an undead person who was animated by curses or something. And now you're not? Now I use my power. Now I use power. Use my power to my benefit. And you didn't before? Plus, you said shtick. You said you were an undead person. Would that mean you're not an undead person anymore? Hey, Rebels. Hey, I'd hop on, but I just got out of the shower. No problem. No problem. I am not. I am fully reanimated now. Well, I guess that's good to hear. But you kept your powers, apparently? Or you got powers? I don't know how that works. You have to tell me. And hopefully, I'm gonna get in touch with you. I'm gonna probably send you something soon. Um, John John sent me my parcel for the buckler, but the first one somehow did not get here. So when it arrives again, Pastry's powers would be the assassin's teapot left out. And uh, but yeah, as I was saying, so I should be hopefully within the next couple weeks getting my buckler stuff in. A lot of people have gotten the buckler already. Like I said, somehow mine got lost in the mail. Okay, there we go. There's that done. Okay. So now we can fully put that up. Oh, actually, I don't think we can. Because I think we need to do the foot. Uh, it's very rare commodity, that book. Probably somebody stole. Well, the question, it would have to be somebody that knew that I was getting it and either took it along the way or when it received, but it was would have went into my post office, my box or whatever. Okay, there, that is better. That's done now. There we go. Yeah, and somebody would have to know what was in it. And somebody got some John artwork too for free then too, because it had the page of the last page of Snowdrift in it. Their physical thing. Although John's supposed to be redoing that and sending to me. Actually, he was supposed to have redone it by yesterday and sent it to me. You're right. It was probably someone on the inside. There's a couple spots that need to redo in there. There we go. We just need to do this little bit of the pants here. So hopefully we should get this panel at least all colored today. Um, I'm probably gonna try and do, like I said, minimum of 3 streams a week. Probably maybe 4. I might do one on Saturday. I'm gonna try and do Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for sure. Go. Here we go again. So tonight I'm gonna be on a friend of mine's stream, Mike Waters. We're gonna be reading some old comics back from 1939. There we go. Okay, so this is looking good. We're on our last little bit here. About to, well, the last little bit for Joker face here. So what shall I say with the drunken sailor as it's so early in the morning? It'll probably take less time to get the Franken face character all done up good. Because he's not quite as big, and neither is Toxico. We're going to probably add a few lines to the background here to make it look slightly better, to make it look to go in contrast with the building, or make it look more like the building that's behind them. Okay, so there we go. There's that. Let me just get these gray on the sleeves here, and then we gotta. I think we might need to put a line in there too, right there. Okay, so we just need to this underneath this stuff right there. There we go. There's that. And that. Okay, so there we go. There we go. There we go. There is Joker face security guard. Colored in, of course, after we get. Oh, hey, not much. Yourself? Well, that's good. Not that anybody be able to see you, anyways, but yeah. Uh, not a whole heck of a lot. Just getting this coloring done because it's taken forever. I'm going to be launching on Kickstarter for my comic on the 1st of September. Oh, that's not hard for to do with them. Lots of them have names for me. They've called me. Well, they don't usually call me a lot of different names, but they have. Yeah. And no offense, that's such a girly thing to do. uh, yeah, well, there's that too, but well, jokes in right. You're right. Jokes don't usually have gender, but to cutify somebody's name is a girly thing to do. You may be doing it. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah, yeah, but I'm not really talking gender. I'm talking biological. I'm sure there's multiple different ways. Depends on what you're going for. I'm sure we've made this more interesting for a few seconds. But oh, that's good. Mine used to be higher, but Mm, yeah. I well going with that rate. I'm at somebody's every hour 21 on the clock. Yeah, and that can be a good thing or a bad thing. Yeah. Yeah. Just means they're up at that time, which, and hey, if they're watching you, that's good. Uh, everybody's got their own schedule for stuff like that, too. Mine is whacked out, usually. Although lately I've been. No, I'm just whacked. No. No, this is not John Goodnight Spoon. This is Rebellious Pastry. No, no, he's trolling. No, no, in that case, it would be the voice, and you guys have nowhere near the same voice. He's around. Well, I haven't been streaming a lot too. If I'm only starting to get back, sounds like him to me. I was in a bit of a funk. Still am a little bit, but I'm trying to get out of it by doing something. No. It's just me getting out of my own head, basically. I get too much. I get too much in my own head at times. Yeah. Yeah, I was off for about, I don't know, 3 4 weeks from streaming. I was producing a video or something like that, some little videos here and there, or maybe I was, but I'm slowly starting to come back. I'm gonna be trying to do 3 days a week. You know, Monday, Friday, Wednesday, and not necessarily a set time. I'm just gonna come on during that time at some point. Oh yeah, I know. That's why for like 3 or 4 years, I was at noon. Cool. Yeah. Hi. Oh, that's good. Not really anymore. Well, I wasn't not sure whether I was ever going through something. Just just in me in my head too much. Just I'm not sure how to explain it properly, but it was just yeah, 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 yeah. I think part of it was, like, is the streaming really worth it? Doing all the, time I put into it when nothing seems to be coming of it or not much. Mm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like you were talking about the algorithm. Like you can ask, Good Spoon Night here, like almost since the inception of my channel for about 3 or 4 years, I was streaming at noon every day. I think I think I took like the summers off, but other than that, like for months on end, I would be, streaming at noon pretty much every day, and you know, didn't get me anything. Well, yeah, no, I haven't. Oh, okay, sounds interesting. Oh yeah, uh, yeah, true, and yeah. uh, Good night, Spoon says. What about all the friends I've made along the way? Oh yeah, that I'm glad for all the friends, and I don't mean to try and discount that. And I say that it's just, yeah, I've made a bunch of friends, and I'm glad I made all those friends. It's just when you're trying to, make a career or something out of it along that way, and it doesn't come to the fruition that you would like, as especially as fast as you would like. Because I know I was stuck at like just under 700 subs, like for over a year. Yeah, true. Yeah. Well, I don't think most people care about what your ethnic background is. They just care about the content of whatever you're putting out, whether they like it or not. But then again, YouTube might go might be doing that. Yeah, yeah. Well, this is true. But usually, if they watch me for 5 minutes, I think that those assumptions are broken. Yeah, yeah. Well, I wouldn't have you kicked out of the chat because I just don't. Unless you're an idiot in the chat, why kick somebody out? Well, and I guess there's different ways of being an idiot. I do have. Sort of disrespectful to everybody and, just mean, nasty, whatever. Uh, I, Geez, there's not too many. I'm trying to figure out how to, like, I have, all my trolls in my chat, and, so some people consider that being an idiot, but, for the most part, they're good natured, and I know that. I guess just somebody who's being really mean spirited or whatever. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's see. Spoon Knight says here, not to be disrespectful, but you have a habit of working with a bunch of bums and leeches. Well, I can't say that's not true. All right. Yeah, 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 yeah. Definitely not thing. People get mistreated all the time on the internet for different reasons, good and bad reasons. Hello. Hey, Mike. How are you? Not yet. I haven't been on Facebook in a bit. Yeah, I hadn't been on Facebook in a few hours. I knew you'd probably be sending a message sometime today. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, thank you. No, we have with us Rebellious Pastry. She has her own channel. Um, eh, I did. Go camping. Yeah. He doesn't more. I'd say more an article reviewer. You know, people done articles like on different websites about certain things in comics or video games or anime manga. He reads the articles and comments on them, and then on Fridays, like you were saying, we read old comics and comment on them. And uh, yeah. Okay, we'll catch you. Okay, we'll catch you later, mate. Have a great day. And in the chat, we have the dynamic Dillard draw saying, "What's up, Rickolas?" Not much. And it says, "I'm back. What I miss? Since you're only gone about a couple minutes, not much. Just uh, our friends here saying what their channels are, what they're doing, and what they do on their channels, and yeah. So what are you up to today, Dillard? Huh? Um, I did. I've done it 2 days this week. Ah, yeah. Oh me, oh me, oh my. uh, and hello, Lorenzo. Oh, good night, Spoon. You do not. Youthful, I'm not so sure about, but feminine, definitely not. Dillard. I have more of a feminine voice than you. I've got mistaken for my mama. Yeah, gotta live with it. Hold on, guys. No.
Or like who?
You talking to me or someone who else?
Yeah, rebellious. I'm talking to you. Well, you're the one that said you wanted a deeper voice if you could. Like, is there some person that you could compare a voice like you would want a voice like that?
No, I'm just saying how um how um so if you were to go ahead and go on a voice editor and then like go a few pitches down, that's what I would optimally sound like if I had a choice.
Hmm.
Uh, you want to hear something funny?
Yes.
All this time you've been on Rebellious, nobody's probably been able to hear you. I had the desktop audio muted.
Yeah,
You
I thought for sure
imbecile.
that you were in here by yourself. But then
You
how would that person think that you
imbecile.
are? How would that person think that you were Dillard if they couldn't hear you?
Oh man. But I don't think our characters even look somewhat the same. Just so you know, I'm only messing with Rick here.
Of course, everybody messes with Rick. I'm not sure whether this is a good thing or not. No.
I mess with everyone. It doesn't matter whose
Rick,
show.
how many days do you have left on your campaign?
Uh, on the Indiegogo one, it's now in demand. I'm going to be starting up the Kickstarter next Thursday, which for 60 days.
Oh, okay.
Why?
Because I want to know. Now I have live streaming abilities.
Uh, what? Your live streaming abilities were taken away?
No, but I had responsibilities that didn't allow me to have any kind of
Uh,
free time to do stuff. I had to
oh,
always be like a guest, like working. You know what I mean? Because I had gotten the coof a while back, and I was fell way behind on work.
yeah, I remember that. Good Night Spoon says, I knew it was John, and you tried to tell me it was pastry.
Now you got both of us, so be prepared for a war, I guess.
What?
Why
A
will
war.
there...
War?
I'm just kidding.
Yeah. We don't believe you. No.
Uh, and again, I have rebellious in the name, so um,
The rebellious is always trying to drum up some sort of drama. Huh?
no.
I'm drama free.
So I do find it interesting how we've got the superhero, the supervillain, and then you've got this random side character that's um that just randomly spouts out random stories about their life.
Yeah, I guess so.
Are you talking about our individual IPs?
I'm talking about like how I'm just talking about how like our main characters work, honestly,
Oh, okay.
and what we do.
Do you think that that says something about an individual, what their main character is?
Um, Isn't the Buckler a supervillain?
Yes.
And isn't the Buckler your main character?
Yeah.
So, what made the Buckler a supervillain in the first place?
Rick's character.
Because, because one thing that fascinates me about characters is, like, why are they the way they are? Like, why, especially with villains, like, how come is the Buckler a villain instead of a hero?
Well, he's a very immature and selfish and self-centered person. And coupling that with some external influences, uh, he seemed to him that was the only avenue to take. Like for instance, he had intentions of being a hero, but his hero, whom he idolized, kind of
Tore him a
I
new
guess you
one.
would say let him down. Huh? Yeah, tore him a new one. Basically, gave him a dressing down and said, you're trash. You're never gonna be. And this is like somebody. This wasn't somebody who he liked. Like this was somebody who he idolized.
Wow.
And because he's a selfish and self-centered person, he couldn't just take that criticism and roll with it. It actually influenced him. It put him into a state almost of like some sort of anxiety attack and trauma when that happened. And then that being coupled with when that happened, he wasn't alone. Like people saw that happening and they were laughing at him, and he couldn't take it and he attacked the person and in his rage killed them.
Because,
And it was because of that he felt he had no choice but to, he didn't want to go to jail for the rest of his life, and he fled the city, fled the country, became a villain.
That's understandable. And I feel like villains, like, they're like, if it's a well built villain, sometimes people will go with the villain.
Like the
Like-
Joker.
Yeah, there's some villains. I think the most. No, not the Joker. He's a well-built villain, but he's not a sympathetic character. Like somebody like a Magneto is probably the most famous one. People often empathize with him, even though, I mean, he couldn't care less about the human race, and he is 100% mutant supremacist. People kind of like are okay with that.
Yeah. So let's see here. The only villain I really have in my set is Anti-Pastry, which Anti-Pastry is basically like if you were to take all of Pastry's personality traits and then flop them like as if me myself was a villain. That's pretty much Anti-Pastry. But
Like from Darkwing Duck, Negaduck.
yeah. That's kind
Or
of how
Reverse Flash.
that's kind of how like I built Anti-Pastry. Which I honestly think people like even though Pastry and Anti-Pastry have like similar build, I feel like people tend to like Pastry better. Just because of
Like an antipasta.
Antipasta. Someone actually told me that Anti-Pastry would be kind of like a creepy pasta, but Anti-Pastry couldn't be a creepy pasta because Anti-Pastry is canon.
Well, anti-pastry.
What is the opposite of a pastry?
Oh, anti-pastry. Eat.
Plain bread.
I was gonna say somebody who forces you to eat your vegetables because pastries are treats and all that. They taste real good, and you know.
The funny thing is
Anti
that
pastry is basically broccoli.
oh man. But the funny thing is that um my my kryptonite and like snacks, like something that like I can almost have no self control over is like gummy candy. And it's bad.
Oh, you and me both, sister.
But yeah.
Dude,
But
I'm
why?
diabetic, and I still go and I buy like full on gummy worms and just eat the whole damn bag to myself.
Shame on you.
I'm gonna die for sure.
You can't die. You need the buckler to continue.
He's already killed off the buckler in his head.
Oh man. You can't kill off your own character.
Why not?
Sure, I can.
Oh,
Well, the book not a it's he's not a traditional it's not written in the traditional comic book sense. It's written more like a like a story, like a movie that has a beginning, a middle, and an end. You know.
oh yeah. Whenever I say that, I forget that not all characters are self-inserts.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
the
the
buckler
buckler.
is for sure a self-insert.
So
It's just I
John
don't
has.
have any, you know.
I was gonna say John's plotting his own demise.
You want to know what would be a fun spin-off show? If if a character from another universe decided to psychoanalyze the buckler and yeah. But then again, I'm just
Oh, we don't even need to do that because the buckler psychoanalyzes himself in book 3.
um,
Because
yeah.
in book 3, the buckler dies. He gets shot in the back of the head
I
and
thought that was.
immediately goes,
Isn't that book 2?
huh?
Isn't that book 2?
No, the book 2. No. Book 2 is the Ballad of Bucklet.
Well, I thought you had 4 main major
I have
story.
renamed it. It is called. It used to be called the Ballad of Bucklet, right? But now it is called the Buckler Book 2, the Ballad of Bucklet.
Oh, okay. So you're changing things up.
A little bit, yeah. Because I want to get this story out first before Bucklet does some stuff in book 3. In the next story, the story with the Canadian Shield.
Yeah.
So I wanted to get this one out first. It's not going to take as long as the first one because this one is only 22 pages long.
Ah.
But she's actually the main character in this book. So what does that say about me? When my main character for my next book is Bucklet. She is an abused woman.
Good Spoon Knight says, "Was there ever a plan?" And Jeff Poth said earlier, "That pastry needs to lay off the cigarettes."
Why are people getting me and Dillard confused still?
Oh no, that's because of Good Spoon Knight's comments. He's joking. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. I've never smoked a day in my life.
I tried cigarettes once, coughed my brains out, and said no, thank you.
As soon as I hear it, it hurts the throat. I'm like, no, thank you. Also, I've heard that nicotine is very, very addictive.
Oh yeah, it's supposed to be more addictive than cocaine.
Oh no. But then again, I do drink a lot of tea, so caffeine is very addictive too.
Yeah, well, it's because it's so socially acceptable too. Drinking. coffee or whatever. Pop,
Yeah, like caffeine is socially acceptable. Alcohol is mostly socially acceptable, and the newest thing, which is like um, which is
vaping.
weed.
Oh yeah, well,
Oh, eh,
weed's not that new. Vaping is newer, which
yeah,
is
I swear that people who I know in in my IRL obligations are probably gonna die an early age.
you can never tell really. You know, they say this stuff will end your age early, but there's lots of people that do it that die really old, and there's lots of people who don't that die young. So there's stuff on this stuff about it ending your age early is a guess.
Yeah, but then again, like if you if you were to go ahead and like blow on something, I'm guessing it's blow or suck. I'm not sure how vape pens work because I've never had one and I
Uh,
will never have one.
yeah.
Vape pens work by not by sucking or blowing, but just breathing in. You can't suck it like a cigarette; it'll make you cough. You have to just breathe it in.
Mm, I don't want to breathe in nasty chemicals.
Well, you got to move out of the city into the country.
Yeah. um, but then again, since I live in Colorado, there's probably all sorts of like micro just like micro yeah, Colorado, man.
Microchips,
I think though I'm not microchips, but like micro um I'm
spores.
losing my words. But like particles, I mean, of weed. Probably. That's just my theory.
That's your theory and you're sticking to it?
Yeah, but like a lot of people smoke in Colorado, which I find kind of sad. But yeah, so let's get a subject change before I start spouting out how disappointed I am in my own state that I have to live with.
I had
Uh,
no idea that pastry was so political.
Hmm,
uh, okay, later, Jeff.
I swear, like, um, yeah, it's just, I don't know. Why did I even go down that rabbit hole? How did I even get here?
Very uncarefully. Let's see. We got
I
Good
don't know.
Spoon Knight
Oh,
says I was going to clean my room, but then micro dosing an atomizer directed to my lung, mouth to lung.
oh yeah, it was someone's comment in your chat.
I
Yeah.
was gonna go to court, but then I got high.
But yeah, Dillard, when are you gonna start streaming again?
Tomorrow.
People's been asking,
What
but
people?
tomorrow never comes.
Tomorrow always comes. As sure as the sun rises in the west and sets in the east.
But tomorrow becomes today. Therefore, tomorrow never comes.
Yes, tomorrow is the day that never comes.
Yes. So as soon as it hits midnight tonight, then what would have been tomorrow yesterday is going to be today.
I feel like you guys are hanging out in Colorado too much with all that smoke and particles.
Oh man, you guys, yeah. But yeah, I always act like this on stream shows, no matter whose show.
And that's good.
Who's pinging me
Rick,
now?
look at this. What do you think of this? I got this for free. Is this worth using?
What? Let me
Let
see.
me turn on my camera. Let me see if my camera works on here. There it goes. Okay. This.
Oh, yeah, I would say definitely use it. If you don't, you can send it to me.
Is there really 128 gigs on here, you think?
Well, it's probably like 127 or 26 because, the file system takes up, a gig or two.
Depends. It depends on what you're doing with it.
Well, I want to put all my artwork on this so that I could switch over to a new computer.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure.
Judging by
Yeah, you should be able to use that, no problem, John.
Judging by how much you draw, I'm willing to bet that you would need 5 of those things to transfer all of your drawings.
It's possible. I think
Well, how big's your hard drive now? On your computer?
let me check. Give me a second. Let me check.
Wait, was that a SanDisk by chance?
Yeah.
That's
Yes,
the
it
exact
was.
same one I have.
Oh.
Yes.
Which,
ScanDisk is a popular brand, so that doesn't surprise me.
Not scan. San. My Windows C drive has, well, it did have originally 118 gigabytes of free space. Originally.
Okay. So yeah, your C
And
drive.
right now I have 21 gigs free of that.
Oh yeah, then that should more
So
than handle.
I'm using about 90, right? 95 gigs. So this should be able to hold everything, including. I'm not going to transfer over like videos and stuff like that. That takes up a lot of space too.
Yeah.
But all my artwork should be able to handle that because there's multiple programs on here that I have to download. The computer
Yeah.
itself takes up a bunch of those gigs, not just my artwork.
Yeah.
so why are you getting a new computer, Dillard?
Because my other one, it like snap, crackles, and pops. It like smokes every now and then.
That's scary.
It's a very old computer. When
What
I turn
kind
it
of
on, it's like a
computer
rickety old
do you have
washing
now?
machine. I
What
have like a
kind of-
laptop, and it's an HP touchscreen laptop that I got like 5 years ago. Not very strong or capable.
Understandable.
I would like to get a desktop.
I personally have a very, very, very powerful laptop that I do a lot of animations on. It's crazy what this thing can handle.
So you're gonna buy a
Yeah, 'cause
pre-built?
I try to do any kind of animation on my laptop, and everything just freezes and shuts down.
So are you going to do what was this thing? Are you gonna build it, have it built, or just buy something that's already put together?
I'm gonna just buy it.
Okay, because if you're gonna have it built, you probably get a lot more in it. And I was gonna suggest my sketchbook. He did my one, and I really like it.
But why would I go to my sketchbook when I could go to Marsupial Gamer?
Okay, either or.
Why would I go to Marsupial Gamer or Sketchbook when I could go to the Metal?
You're just going to go ahead and prioritize your you're just like just keep on
Why would I
saying
go to the
these-
Metal if I could go a couple of miles down the street and go to Pixel Trader?
Ugh.
In that
You
case,
better.
if
You bet.
you could go, why would you go to Pixel Trader if you could just get in contact with an old friend and what was his name? Did I think he did computers?
I'm gonna.
Model 316.
I'm gonna say that like you better not say anything bad about marsupial.
Why would I go to Marsupial,
I
who
don't know.
harasses Liam Gray on a regular basis?
He's nice.
No, you don't even
He's
get
one of my
that.
best good friends.
You don't even get how bad that last reference was. Well, just from all the stuff I've heard, anyways.
Yeah, I heard he got pretty nailed last night.
Liam Gray?
No, marsupial.
Oh.
No, Liam Gray was throwing out a bunch of accusations about Marsupial that are 100% false, and I happen to know them for a fact that they're 100% false. He was even blaming Marsupial for putting a spear on his porch because he thinks Marsupial is in Australia.
Well, his mascot maybe, but not him.
Well, not necessarily
Man.
even his mascot, because I think there are marsupials in other parts of the world than Australia. Yes,
Yeah, like Tasmania.
I'm sure a good majority of marsupials are in Australia, but I think there's a few other places.
But yeah,
No, but Pixel Trader is brilliant when it comes to computers, and he lives in San Diego, which is just about 30 minutes. Not 30 minutes, it's like an hour or two away from me. And I drive down that way frequently because I'm constantly going to, Tijuana and Mexico area.
Ooh.
did you know that the show South Park originated in Colorado?
Yes.
South Park, Colorado? What's your thoughts about the show South Park?
Who are you asking?
Dillard?
Okay.
What's your thoughts about the TV show?
I'm sorry, which TV show? I didn't hear you.
South Park.
Oh, I think South Park is probably the most overrated and underrated show to ever exist.
Wait, how could it be both?
Because some people think that South Park is just trash, while other people think that South Park is the most brilliant thing to ever grace humankind with its social commentary. I think it's a very, very good show. Better than most. But I don't
I
give it
asked
the gravitas that superfans like do.
Yeah, I asked for your opinion, not everyone and their mom's opinion.
Well, I gave you my opinion, but you asked me to elaborate, if you recall.
But yeah, you want to know something, a fun fact? Humans' brains are not built to multitask. Because if you try to do two things at once, you end up doing them both poorly. How I know this is I'm currently working on a video right now as I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
It's true, you are talking to us very poorly.
And this is why, yeah.
But the real question is, what is the unladen velocity of a European swallow?
Those are big words. Those are big words. Stop it now with the big words.
So because they're big words, you don't know them?
What was the question again?
What is the unladen velocity of a European swallow?
That is what that is.
A European swallow is a bird.
Really?
How fast can it fly if it is not carrying any weight?
It's got to carry weight anywhere it goes.
What is the unladen velocity of a European swallow?
I don't know, and I don't care at the moment.
Nice one, Crossy.
If I happen to need that in a story, then I'll care.
Why are you asking us this?
I don't know. I just thought I'd ask a stupid question, and it's a stupid question that I remember from the Monty Python movie, The Holy Grail.
What's the most stupidest question of stupid questions?
Who knows?
I have a.
Why is a rainbow good?
Why is a rainbow good?
Yeah.
It depends on who you are. But here's a stupid question. If you're asking it on your phone, if you're on the phone with somebody and you ask them where your phone is, now that's the definition of a stupid question right there.
Not necessarily.
My mother asked me where her glasses were as she was wearing her glasses.
I've had that happen to me before too. Just like
That's
someone's
gotta
like,
be the stupidest thing that only the stupidest people in the world do.
I was going to say, for rebellious questions, that's not so stupid because it could be in your hand or it could be on something. If you're talking from it on a speakerphone.
Yeah. But
Bum.
I lost my train of thought, which.
Well,
happens quite
hopefully the
often.
bus will come by soon.
But
Yeah, the short bus.
wait, what were we talking about?
I don't know. You were asking about stupid questions.
Questions. What is? Yeah. I'd say.
Pastry, what is something that you are the most proud that you have done in your life?
Get my first ever character copyrighted. I got Rebellious Pastry copyrighted, and I'm super happy about it. I honestly think my answer is literally Rebellious Pastry.
Yes, her answer to everything is rebellious pastry.
Rick, is there anything that you know you should let go of, but you haven't yet?
Probably. I can't think of anything off the top of my head, though.
What about you, Pastry?
Let's see here. I think it's the fact that I'm still kind of frustrated with the fact that the talk show, that the Ink and Pastries Talk and Draw show had to end the way it did. And it still is kind of frustrating to me to this day.
How did it end? I'm not familiar with the Ink and Pastry talk show.
So, it was a talk show I used to do with my friend, my used to friend. They ended up slamming me on air. And then that's how that ended. Just like with malintent.
And you're saying that what you haven't let go of was
The fact that
the feelings of regret and hate that you have.
Mhm.
You're still holding on to it.
Mm-hmm.
You haven't
You
moved
asked.
on. Okay.
You asked.
I did, and that was a good answer.
Yeah. Dillard, what's your answer to these questions?
I forgot the first question. What was it?
What was your most? What is the thing that you're most proud of?
Oh, when I bought my first car on my own, not with any cosigner, but I had good enough credit to go and like actually buy my first car, and I walked out of the dealership because I come from very very poor family, and we've only ever had like buy cars from like the Green Sheet or the Penny Saver or something. You buy a used car from somebody for $500, and I actually got a car that was like new. It was still used, but it was like newish truck, and I was super proud of myself. And I've made all the payments, and that car is now paid off.
Wow. Um.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And something I haven't let go of yet. Uh, the whole Tank and Manny thing.
Uh,
Yeah.
I know what that
No,
means.
no.
Rebellious is completely. I have no idea what that means, and I don't
I
like.
honestly feel like I honestly feel like each channel has their like own channel conflict.
Well, this
Honestly.
is like channel lore, I guess. No, there's no conflict, but I still got. And the thing is, I've moved past it. I've nothing that I do to this day is influenced at all. But I still got a little bit of a kernel of corn stuck in my tooth about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's understandable. But yeah,
Bothers me to this day.
what other
I should have let
psychological
go of my beef
questions
with
you
Squash
have?
Man years ago. Say what?
So what other psychological questions do you have for our lives?
Okay, if you knew that today was your last day on Earth, would you be doing the same thing you're doing right now?
Hmm, probably not.
And if so, why not?
Let's see here. My answer to that question would be very channel inappropriate for almost any channel on YouTube.
Well, no, because it's probably
Oh,
basically if you're just chatting on my channel, chatting on my channel. This is your last day on Earth. It's not an important thing to be doing. You want to
Yeah,
be you want to be doing
I'm working on my own channel as well.
yeah.
Um Wait a minute. I just realized something. This is totally off topic, but I was about to call you RP, then I remembered I'm RP.
I'm I'm RP too.
Um,
Rick Piper.
That's
Or
kinda
yeah,
funny.
or I'm RCJP. Richard Charles John Piper.
But
I'm gonna call
I
you
was
John
about
from
to.
now on.
Wow. Oh man.
Yeah, that'll
Uh,
just get everybody confused. John calling me John.
Look,
yeah.
John, it's not that confusing. People will figure it out.
Hey, Massive, how are you?
Eh, but I would probably say I would if this was my last day on Earth, I'd probably just party it off, honestly. That's the more safe
You
version
would
of
go the
that.
route of hedonism and just try to live a day of pleasure.
Yes. Because
Okay,
why
so
not?
this is the question. This is another question, right? If you don't have what you want in your life, whether that's memories of exotic locales or um, life experiences with people, if you don't have what you want in your life, what exactly do you have to lose right now if you were to go after that?
Mm, all right. My mind needs a little bit of time to process this one.
No, good night, Spoon.
Mm,
What do I have to lose? The concept that I can actually do it.
Let's see here. So, one
So
of my
you're
goals in my
afraid to
life.
go for it because you might find out that you can't do it,
Yeah.
and
Let's
then you
see
would have your
here.
answer permanently.
I swear, like most of my answers are gonna be like brand answers because this is on a show on my or not on my channel, but as a character that is representing my channel. So all of these are gonna be like business-ish answers. But um in the search, so like as for me, one of the things I want to go ahead and do in my life is make it so that pastry my channel is like a safe place for everyone, and I want more subscribers. But the thing is that I would be like, if I were to do something too drastically different, which I probably wouldn't, I'd be scared to lose what I wanted to do in the first place, one, and two, the face the donut batch I already have. How's that for an answer?
Oh,
Yeah, so
it's an answer.
you guys know I call my fans the donut batch now.
And no,
Um,
no, Good Spoon. Not even 3 wrongs make a right.
wait, two lefts make a right though.
No, they don't.
That's not true. That means you're going backwards.
Three, wait. It depends on how much right you go each time. Because if you go right too many times, too far right, you're just gonna end up dizzy.
Well, if you make 4 rights, you've just gone on a square. Or if you make 4 lefts, or maybe a rectangle.
Rick Piper, I have a question for you.
Okay, I think.
What mistake do you keep making, and why do you keep making it? And what has it cost you?
What mistake do I keep making? Not sure. Trying to think. Say I'm trying to think as I think. Oh, what mistake do I keep making? What? Man, why can't I think of something? I know I make mistakes all the time, but I guess I don't think about this stuff enough to come up with answers quick.
Sorry, I up and left. I wanted to make sure I had my phone just in case someone tried to get a hold of me.
Yeah.
But yeah, what is your question?
Well, he said it was for me, but
What
you
mistake?
can go ahead.
Yeah.
Too
What
bad.
mistakes do you? What particular mistake do you keep making? Why do you keep making this same mistake, and what has that cost you?
So if you were to talk to me a few years ago, I would say always trying to make people happy. Nowadays I'd probably just say, the mistake I keep on making is the fact that I treat myself a whole lot worse than I would treat anyone else. And what was the second part of the question?
Why do you keep making that mistake?
Because because I feel like I put myself on too high of expectations.
Because this is like this, you know that that's a mistake to do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, if you know that you're making a mistake by putting too high of expectations on yourself, why do you keep doing it?
I don't know. I think it's more
Do
of
you
the
think you're
whole
going to rise to this impossible challenge?
I think it's fear of failure, honestly.
Because you're almost securing your failure. Because like if you're saying, you put too high of a everybody thinks of themselves as superior, that their life is more important than everybody else's. There's something special
Yeah,
about you in
right.
particular.
Yeah, I disagree
Right.
with that. I
I
wouldn't say
think
Because
everybody.
if you didn't agree with that, you would be thinking constantly about somebody else's life instead of yours.
I wouldn't say constantly, but a lot of times I
that's
think of other people more than myself.
um let's see here. Um I think more about like pastry. Which I am pastry, yes, but pastry is also like a brandish type thing.
Like brandishing a firearm.
Like like pastry is a character, but at the same time is a brand.
Yeah.
Well, you're just talking about thinking about things that are an extension of you. It's still you.
Hmm. I tend to think more about the next video I'm gonna make than myself.
Yeah, your life. What things that you do. That's what you think about. Your life.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So
So like if you're saying to yourself, I know that this is something I can't do. If I put too much burden on myself, I know that it's something I cannot do, you are ensuring your failure. So I don't think it would
yeah.
necessarily be a fear of failure because you're ensuring your failure by putting too much expectation on yourself.
I swear if you had $1 for every time I've apologized for not being able to upload a video because of an IRL obligation, and I've had a fan say it's okay, pastry, you would probably have enough for a Starbucks coffee right now.
If I had $1 or if I had a penny,
$1
so you've done it 7 times.
at least. Or there was at least 7 comments saying that it's okay.
Because just because that you have like because that realistically like over apologizing and things like that and people, you know, telling you, hey, it's okay, hearing that a lot, that's like classic, you know, that's like a textbook definition of having depression and anxiety.
Yeah. Do you have any other psychological questions?
I have a ton. Do you want to answer more?
Sure.
Because I would like answers from pastry, not from the brand, though.
You would have to go ahead and talk to me. Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Goodnight Spoon says, my mistake is trying to help others. I did it because no one helped me and it cost me my peace. Well, there's the question. Is that a mistake or not, trying to help others and then it just costing you peace? But and then he says,
I don't know.
now I'm going to go unless Rick or John answers. Um, yeah, I'm trying to think of something that I would consider a mistake. Therein lies the question. The real question, part of the question to it, is what you're doing. Do you consider what you're doing a mistake just because because it might not be wrong, but it could be a mistake, or it could be something you shouldn't be doing, although it's right to do. If that makes any sort of sense.
Kind of. For me, my mistake is trying to buy experiences for my kids and myself and my wife. I currently I'm kind of like nose to the grindstone when it comes to like what I'm doing for work. I'm working about 14 hours every day,
Yeah.
and that leaves me with very little time to spend with my family. So I'll try to go and take them to the beach or the pier or something, or I'll buy them their dresses that they want from watching Frozen or whatever.
Yeah.
Instead of utilizing my time to carve out experiences, I try to just um, here's something, you know. And the thing is, I keep doing it over and over again because I think maybe if I do it this way, or if I do something like this, it might last a little longer than it did before, and it never really does.
Yeah, I can get that.
And I keep making that mistake because I haven't yet figured out a way to, you know, maintain income without sacrificing the time to them.
But they're a good sacrifice for the time to go to.
I tell myself that.
But I get where you're coming from.
But when it comes to like an altruistic, that's like an altruistic answer, right? Like a bogus answer. But I guess the thing that I'm most ashamed of that I keep doing making mistakes is I spend too much money. And I think because I grew up poor, you know, and I still haven't gotten over that. Um, I think that's why I keep making it's like a cycle, right? That you keep making the same mistake of like, oh, I want to buy this. Like it's a big mistake for me to even have access to Amazon.
I honestly personally am very very like careful with what I get on Amazon most of the time. Most generally, if I get something, I know for a fact that I will use it within like the next week or so. What's the last thing I bought from Amazon? It was actually today. A water filter. Because my living situation right now, I can't really get filtered water. Um Unless I want to either one trust like the tap, either trust the tap or have to go all the way to the cafeteria to grab water. So I'm just gonna get a new water filter. Um, what's the last thing you got off of Amazon? Um, Grassy?
Uh,
Probably
Let
some
me check my
books.
Amazon real quick.
I think some books. Books or videos.
Returns and orders. Okay, here we
But
go. It was delivered August 21st. It was a Through Night TI2 customized edition with outside keychain flashlight, 120 lumens, AAA battery required. And I did not need that. I have plenty of flashlights.
I think one mistake I might do a little bit is spend my money irresponsibly, buy stuff I don't need necessarily. I am trying to stop it, but why I do it, sometimes I can just probably,
Very, very hard.
if you're out and about, oh, I got the money, it's no problem, whether, and that's when it really becomes a problem. When you have, a bunch of money that it doesn't matter where it goes, but, you know, you got all this extra money, oh, we can buy that, no problem. And,
Honestly,
but that's the
I
way
honest,
money whittles down quick. That's
honest,
way, oh, sorry.
honestly, if I have extra money, I have what I would call a equipment failure budget, which is basically like if my computer were to die permanently or whatnot, then I would have money to replace equipment.
Yeah. Good night, Spoon said. Prime directive, Rick. You can't help primitives who thinks science and logic are witchcraft. Oh, you can. It's just a question of whether you should.
Can I be brutally honest with you right now? Frosty, whenever you say goodnight, Spoon, I keep on thinking you're saying goodnight to somebody. And it throws
I
me
keep on
off.
thinking of the book Goodnight Moon.
Well, don't
But
blame
yeah,
me. Don't blame me. I could call him Good or Night or Spoon or Night Spoon.
night, Spoon. Good night.
Night Spoon does sound like some sort of whacked out superhero, though.
What? But yeah. Um. Let's see. I've been getting a lot off of Amazon lately, but for good reasons.
Well, it sounds like you're pretty responsible with your money.
Yeah.
Rick, is there anybody that you have alienated and regret having done so?
I don't think I've alienated. I can't think of anybody that I've alienated. Well, maybe in the past, but I don't know.
Or somebody that you haven't kept in contact with that you think, why did I stop keeping contact with this person that you regret?
Um, nobody that can think of. Well, I've had people cut off contact with me that I would have liked to keep in touch with, but that I regret more when somebody cuts me out of their life just to cut me out of their life. And I've had a couple people do that when I haven't done anything, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, this kind of goes along with it. I think the answer is number one, different for men and women, but I don't know to what extent.
Ouch.
When have you felt, or have you ever felt the need to pretend that you don't need help when you do? And if so, why?
I can't remember an exact time, but I'm probably sure there's quite a few times.
Oh, you're going to make me stroke out on this show, aren't you?
I mean, if these questions are too personal, you don't have to answer them.
Yeah, you're not being forced to do anything you don't want, Pastry.
Yeah.
You're not like getting paid to answer these questions.
I'm gonna pass.
All right.
Joshua says, Spoon Night!
Yeah, it's just one of those things of like, it's one of my boundaries I have with my base, which some people who are subscribed to this channel are also subscribed to mine. So it's kind of like a boundary between base and like on like a what I would like to say is work life business balance. But yeah.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Spoon Night says, people who pretend value money and who pretend to value money and spend it frivolously don't really value money. They value presenting as an affluent or powerful. Something I was thinking recently.
It's true.
Uh,
I don't see any flaw in that logic. That's 100% true. But what is this?
What is what?
No, I'm just having a difficult time seeing real. I don't know what you're doing here. What is this?
Oh, it's
Are you erasing the white?
yeah. So it's
Okay.
just in the security. I just colored it over quick, easy, the first time. No,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, um,
I might be able to. Let's see if I can do this.
yeah, what was I gonna
Pastry, I got
say?
a question. This is specifically for you.
Yes.
Specifically for you and no one else, not for Rick.
This kind of scares me. Go on.
What characteristics, personal characteristics, have you struggled to grow and develop in yourself? Like for example, confidence or generosity or
Let's see here. I'd have to,
tenacity, courage,
I'd have to say,
and why do you think you're having trouble growing those characteristics?
I'd have to say I have troubles being like on self leniency. Is that the answer you're looking for?
No, he's looking for the
No.
truth. And nothing but the truth. No.
Yeah, it really was not. No. You kind of already gave that answer before. I was thinking more along the lines of like something that you want to be more like. I get that. What is the opposite of being hard on yourself? Like, what characteristic could you grow that would help with that instead of just saying like self leniency? Like, what's something that would ultimately lead to self leniency?
Chill the crap out.
Jill, what?
Chill
Chill.
the crap out.
Oh, chill. Okay. So, like, what would you say would be like some exercises that would help? The second part of the question is like, why are you having problems developing these characteristics in yourself? Like, what would be a way to develop that characteristic?
I'd have to
Being more
say
self-assured.
like I'd have to say um like reminding myself that I don't have to always be doing something all the time.
Do
So
you think that something like that, something because the thing is like, if the answer is in the arena of reminding yourself or some sort of instance where you are reminded, do you think that that responsibility should be in any portion, any percentage shared by someone's significant other?
If they,
I
Like a lot of women say, I don't feel beautiful. You don't tell me I'm beautiful often enough. Like something like that, right?
that is the most stereotypically woman thing I've ever heard.
It's a true thing, though.
yeah, stereotypes come from somewhere, you know.
Oh man, that's the most stereotypically feminine thing I've ever heard.
So, do you think that the responsibility to bolster your confidence, if you do have a significant other, should any percentage of that responsibility fall to them?
No, because it's kind of on me. What I choose to do with my life is on me.
Oh, absolutely, it's on you. But I mean, is this person? This person is in your life for a reason,
Yeah. So
just to
you're
not be their own person that you meet
so
every now and then and say hello to. You know.
so you're basically asking, is it somebody else's responsibility to booster your confidence in yourself?
No. No.
Yes, that's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
It's kind of my
Is it
responsibility what I
really
choose
is
to
it
do in my
really a
life.
relationship? Is it really a relationship if the person does nothing at all to help bolster your confidence?
The thing is that I don't even know what to say to this question.
Well, the question is, yeah, they should try, but ultimately, it's an internal thing that only I think an individual can have within themselves. Somebody could try to bolster your confidence, all the time, but you know, still, no matter how much they try and bolster it, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter unless it's your thinking inward that will get rid of it, I would say, or strengthen it, because I could say,
Is that something you would say? Because I could easily say, if there's no way that you can change that, you need to, ask God to change stuff like that in you.
yeah, exactly,
Wait.
or in and of yourselves. Like, if I tell you, you're a great artist, right? And you don't want to
Mm-hmm.
believe that
Oh,
you're a
thank you,
great.
Rick.
I think he was talking to me.
Well, no, I was just talking in generalities. You know, Uh, as I was using the thing of a great artist, I can tell somebody they're a great artist, but unless they believe what I'm saying, it's not going to change the fact that they believe that whether they're a great artist or not. So I can tell,
Well, the thing is,
try.
the thing that you're ignoring, I mean, the thing that you're ignoring here is the very real phenomenon of gaslighting. Because the thing is, if even if you are a good artist and everybody tells you that your stuff is garbage, that's gonna affect you.
Yeah, oh, definitely can,
It
because we choose to believe whatever they're saying. It's a question of how much do you believe whatever somebody's saying to you? Do you accept what they're saying or not to be truthful? And even if you believe whatever they're saying to be truthful, how much to heart? How much do you let it affect
well, yeah,
you?
but I mean, we're talking about something that's complex that you don't know. You don't know. In reality, you don't know how much leniency you should give yourself. Am I being too easy on myself? You don't
Yeah,
know. So that's something that you would have to, lean on, um, I guess, a consensus or something like that, or general something. You know what I mean? It's something that
yeah,
you just don't innately know. So you could say, well, you know that it's true, but even if you don't believe it, that's a disorder. That's a psychological disorder,
yeah,
right? If you know something, but it's something that you don't know. You don't know if you're good enough. You don't know if you have what it takes.
yeah.
I think that in some portion, it's not their responsibility, but it is incumbent upon them to bolster it regardless.
Yeah, they should. I agree. Somebody should, but it may help it. It may not. I guess is what I'm saying. Ultimately, you can try and help, but you can't be ultimately responsible whether they choose not to take it to heart. I guess is the best way to say it. Like,
Uh huh.
I guess it's just like, with everybody telling me, whatever advice for the different comic stuff. I choose to do it or not do it for whatever reason. Nobody can,
I honestly
change.
think I honestly think I've been easier on myself in this IRL obligation than the last. When it comes to feel like I always have to do something, because there's been instances where um I've just laid in my bed because I was too tired to do anything else. which that wouldn't have flown last year with me.
And good night, Spoon's got a few things here. He says,
Yeah, I think that you need to address because Goodnight Spoon is actually giving real answers. I think you should address Goodnight's.
yeah, I was just about to. He says, I'm waiting to hear more of John's TED talk on falling out of touch with people. And then he says, I struggle with getting people to see me for me and not just the parts of me they like, and then they get upset with me. Yeah, I'd say that too for me. And then he's got, I wake up every morning, look in the mirror, and say, I'm good enough, strong enough, and gosh darn it, people fear me.
People don't. I don't think people necessarily fear me. I don't think they fear me at all.
Well,
But
hopefully not. I don't want anybody to fear me.
I think people tend to whenever they describe me, both on and off air. I think they tend to see me as approachable and easy to talk to.
Yeah.
Is the consensus that I get from people because it's like I'm not intimidating at all. Unless you guys feel intimidated by me by any means.
No.
And
Yes, I do.
probably, why do you feel intimidated by me? Is it because,
Because there are things that I can say that will make you angry and leave. That are not things that I would normally say. That I would say are something that the average person would get upset over.
yeah, that's understandable.
So I have to then be careful with what I say around you, meaning I'm intimidated.
But yeah, that's understandable. It's just like in general, there's some things that um I can't stand for anyone to say, and people normally know what my boundaries are with that.
Hmm.
Now, I have a more
Like in a normal discourse or conversation, people talk about stuff. But if for some reason you were to bring up something that a normal person wouldn't get upset or angry over, like saying crabs are delicious, and I have some sort of uh,
Problem with crabs?
unreasonable over exa no, some unreasonable over exaggerated response to not just crabs, but somebody saying that to me. You know what I mean? I would say, like I would say, yeah, I'm Rick. I am not going to be sitting here while somebody badmouths crabs. That's something that I cannot abide by in principle, and then I just up and leave and make everything awkward. Like that's my fault. That's a fault of mine, not of the person who talked about crabs. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah, because then you'd just be crabby. Okay.
Goodnight Spoon was talking about gaslighting. What I meant by gaslighting was telling somebody something to the extent where they believe it.
It's kind of
Right?
hard.
Because do you think that you can tell somebody something so often and in such a convincing manner that you get them to believe something that is incorrect? Of course, it's possible.
It depends on the person.
Of course.
Yeah. Let's see. Well, you were saying that's not gaslighting. That's what people try to keep down because they fear you will outgrow them and abandon them. So they manipulate your self esteem, kind of like nagging women.
Mm.
No,
Gaslighting is
negging women.
nagging. Uh,
Negging is the opposite of it's telling a woman she's yeah, you're all right. You're like a 5 when she's obviously more than that.
gaslighting is telling you you're angry or I never said you were a bad artist, like crazy and making everything up. And John already addressed.
So he says, I struggle with getting people to see me for me and not just the parts of me they like, and then they get upset with me. Yeah, because I mean, there's things like what I was talking about earlier, right? Like if I were to get upset about something, overly upset about something, like there's positions that I hold, there's beliefs that I have that would make other people upset.
I honestly
Like,
feel like
for
that's
instance,
anyone. I feel like that's
yeah,
anyone at any time, though.
Oh
like if I were to
yeah.
tell you, Rick, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna just say to Pastry. Yeah, all of us have uh some outrageous beliefs, for lack of a better way of saying it.
Like unpopular opinions.
Yeah, but the question is, can you sit down and have a conversation about it, or have a conversation going on around you about it without becoming the Hulk?
Depends on what it is.
Yeah.
And it depends on what mood
Like
I'm in.
here's a belief that I hold, right? And this might make Rick upset, and it might even make Pastry upset too. Like I don't believe, I in my brain, and nothing that anybody says will convince me otherwise, because I believe that if someone is engaging in homosexuality, that it is, in my brain, it is likely that they would engage in other things that are, in my head, immoral.
Depends on the person.
Yeah, well,
It
like
depends.
like he said, it's just in his thought patterns. That's what he thinks. But I get it, but I would disagree.
Now, here
Like
is what
let's say for instance, I know a guy, right, who is a gay man, like my cousin, who's a gay man. I would say, even though I have two daughters, right, and a gay man is not attracted to women, I would not let said man watch my kids, because in my brain, if he's into this form of what I consider immoral acts, then he may do other immoral acts to my kids.
I see what you're saying,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But here's what we're saying. Here's what I say about stereotypes. I feel like you're putting like what people do, and you're pretty much just like being like, oh, just because you do this, you also do this. Just because you are this, it means that you just because you are this, you do this, which
No, I understand,
stereotypes.
Pastry. Believe me, I understand that it's an incorrect way of thinking. I get that, and I know that if everything is all in a case by case basis.
Yep.
But in my head, that's the way I think.
Like, honestly, I don't think you would even if you knew me in real life, I don't think you would even let me watch your children.
Well, to be honest, I haven't even let my own mother watch my children.
Oh man.
This is just reality. I mean, the thing is, because I don't want my kids subjected to any kind of scenario that might be, like that might damage them. And the thing is, I won't let them stay overnight anywhere. I won't let them go to somebody's house and have them watch them while either I'm not around or I'm going to be gone for a period of time. That has not happened yet.
Wow.
Wow.
I can't.
Because what if I leave her? What if I leave my kids at my mom's house? And the thing is this: I'm very much. I see the worst in people before they give me a chance to give a reason. Like,
So
what if
you mean
I think that all people, if given the opportunity, will try to molest my kids?
So basically, like trust
And
issues.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So John's really screwed up in that way.
Understandable.
Yeah, I do not trust anyone.
That is understandable.
Question is, does he trust his wife to look after that? I tease.
No, that's the thing.
Mrs.
I don't.
Gilder
There are people that I
Graves.
do trust. No, there are people that I do trust, but I don't trust that, for instance, they are responsible enough, like me, to prevent something from happening.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if, like okay, like are you gonna go and give your kids to your aged grandmother to watch at the park, who could not chase after them if she tried because she's very old?
But the thing is that it depends on the grandma in that situation, because there's some grandmas that are like very like active. There's some grandmas
Well, I just
that
said she's very aged and old and can barely walk. She has a walker. Can I trust her to watch my kids at the park? No, I cannot.
Well, you can trust her to
Someone
watch
needs to
them.
be there. Okay.
You can trust her to watch them. You just can't
It
trust
sounds
her
like
to...
you're being deliberately obtuse, Rick. You're not getting it on purpose.
Oh, I get it. You can trust her to watch them. You just can't. You just know she can't chase after anybody that tries to do anything to your kids.
Well, that's part of watching kids, though.
Yeah, but she can,
Like
call an
watching kids
officer.
would require you to also make them food. If you cannot physically make them food, you can't watch the kids. You know.
Yeah.
So I cannot trust my mom, who has a boyfriend. My mom currently has a boyfriend. After my dad passed away, she kind of got with this guy, John Cermeño. I told you about him before, and then fell out with him. But now she's back with him again. I cannot trust her to not have him over while she's watching my kids.
Okay. Because you don't
That-
trust him for whatever reason.
Yeah, it's not because I don't trust her. I just don't trust him.
yeah, that's understandable.
You know, I'm okay with my mom watching the kids. If she's going to come to the house, stay at my house, and watch the kids here in my house while I run to the store or I go on a little fishing trip, whatever, and I know that nobody's going to be coming over. I have control of that situation where I know nobody else. I'm 100% fine with her watching, but she doesn't want that. She wants me to go drop them off at her house so she can watch them. I got a problem with that.
So basically, John is a control freak.
But
Yeah.
trust issues are common, I would say. Because who knows what anyone's true intentions are.
I would agree.
Okay, we got a few things here from Good Night, and we got one from Lorenzo. Lorenzo says, sounds like your mom's dating the buckler.
Lorenzo, that's strike one.
Good Night says, I agree with John, specifically with the what was unsaid. Okay. Then he says, Night Spoon then says, I'm not judging, I'm just stating that I have encountered what would traditionally be considered deviants who were not abused as a child, and they are no abusers who were not abused the same way, or not abusers who were not abused the same way. I'm not sure whether I'm reading that right. And then Spoon Knight says, that's how I see things. It's not personal. And then Lorenzo says, would you trust the buckler with your kids, John?
Absolutely
Let's
not.
see.
He would sell them for cigarette money.
Now my question is, would you trust pastry with your kids? Not me, but the character pastry.
I am unfamiliar with the character pastry.
Pretty much how I act on my channel and on my streams.
No, then I would not.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
I would
understandable.
want somebody who is much more serious-minded watching my kids.
I tend to be more serious-minded around watching children. I just like to joke around on my channel because it is for entertainment.
Well, you just
purposes.
said pastry is the person on your channel. I would not let that person. If I knew you in real life and I knew that you were serious when you watched kids, then I probably would.
Yeah.
That's
She
fair.
was a camp counselor this past summer.
Yep. That's why I couldn't voice record or do streams.
Let's see. Lorenzo says Rick abuses us every time he hosts his show.
I do find, so here's something I find interesting. I find that it dependent on who is on Rick's show is like it's very, so like what is talked about is very dependent on who is on. Because like when it was just me and Rick, I feel like it had more of a whole like jokey, just taking life as a joke kind of feel. And then when we had like Dillard, he is pretty much just psychoanalyzing everyone here on air.
He's not. That wasn't his intention. He's got something on the net that he looked up questions to discuss or whatever, to try and make the show interesting. Instead of the dead air.
Yeah.
Goodnight Spoon says the less confusing way to put it is sex offenders have all been proven to have been offended against.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's true. That was a big, and that's a big controversial topic too. Because I remember The Rock got in huge trouble because he was on the show Saturday Night Live, and he was portraying this. The skit was there was a bunch of evil scientists, and they were all or supervillains, and they were all in a room saying evil inventors, and who could come up with the most evil invention in the world. And The Rock went up there as portraying the scientist, and he says, "Well, I have created the first ever child molesting robot." And all the other scientists were all, just disgusted, and they're like, "How do you even get a robot to molest, somebody?"
It's all in the programming.
Yeah, he says in the skit, he says, "Well, what I did was I molested the robot, and I just hoped that the pattern would repeat itself."
Oh no! Yeah, that.
And that caused a lot of outrage because people don't like people, because if that is true, then
John?
hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
I was saying what I was saying was, if that is true, that you only become a child molester if you've been molested yourself, then it's not a preference. It's something. It's something that's wrong with you, and people don't want to admit that.
Yeah.
It's a disorder. It's not like whatever.
Yeah. Well, it's the old adage: hurting people hurt people.
No. Hurt people hurt people.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. Ain't no changing the cultural zeitgeist as it is. Here's a question. Rick is right. I am reading a list of questions. Here's a question that actually applies. would it serve you well? Would it serve you well to trust people more than you do, or would it serve you well to be more careful of whom you trust?
I, I want to hear Dillard's answer for this before I answer myself.
Okay, well, number one, um, in many aspects, I am very trusting. But when I sit and think about any subject or any scenario, I am very untrustworthy of anyone. On face value, real quick, hey, Rick says, hey, John, I'm going to call you in about 8 minutes. Can you make sure that you don't leave? I say, yeah, sure. And I'll sit there for 8 minutes like a dummy, even though he has no intention of calling me and he was yanking my chain. But if you were to say, hey, John, I'm going to call you tomorrow at this time, and I have time to think about it, I'm going to say, you know what? I'm not going to wait around at that time. If he happens to call me, I'll stop whatever it is I'm doing, and then I'll take his call. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When I don't think about it, I'll say absolutely yes. If I do think about it, I will assume that person that I'm trusting is not going to do what they say they're going to do, and then I'll do something else and make allowances for if it does.
Yeah. I honestly feel like that tends to be how a lot of people with trust issues operate. Ish. It's just like um, it's so like I would do more collaborations if I could go ahead and like trust people to go ahead and do collaborations with me because like let's see here. I'm gonna start with the um with my channel trailer, which is the newest collab on my channel. That originally was supposed to be with a different person. And they ended up like ghosting the crap out of me. And now I'm thinking how like I'm not gonna do very many collabs on my channel because like and I'll do collabs on other people's channels, but when it comes to doing them on mine, I tend to be like, I don't know. Because like I have a very
Yeah.
consistent posting schedule. And if I don't follow it, then I get mad with myself.
See, the thing is, and Lorenzo says Rick's sayings hurt my head. Hurting people hurt people. Um, but when it comes to trust issues, I think there has to be not a constant, but an occasional self-reflection or reevaluation of where you're at when it comes to trusting people. Because what you were talking about, you are hesitant to do X, Y, or Z because in the past it has proven to not be consistent and reliable. That's not you having a trust issue. That's you reading the signs on the wall,
Mm-hmm.
right? Now, if somebody has had many things happen to them, through a series of bad luck, they were molested. They did get robbed by a minority. They did be called a racist name by a white person. They did, if all these things have happened to one person like in a row, you might develop a complex or trust issues. And then you would have to then be like, you know what? I'm going to reevaluate stuff and see, maybe it isn't the way these trust issues that I have aren't necessarily reflective of what it should be. But for the most part, when something has been shown to you over and over again, it's just good practice, to have a discerning spirit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like if you know that every single time you do something, this person always flakes out on you. You gotta. It's not having a trust issue by saying I'm just not going to invite that person next time.
Yeah.
It's just getting to know their pattern and who they are. Let's see. Night Spoon says, I have enough experience know that never trust anyone ever, but I
I
always do
honestly,
because I'm an idiot.
I honestly feel like we should move on to another question because this question is starting to feel like gum that we've chewed for too long.
uh, uh, or let's see. I've been on about 2.5 hours, just over 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
I
To
think.
be complete, to be completely honest with you, I'm starting to experience some straight stream fatigue for
Yeah.
whatever reason.
Oh, that's no problem. So yeah, like I said,
There's not a there's no such thing as stream fatigue. It's called you're getting bored. You want to go do something.
Uh,
well, John, you
I say,
wanna?
Rick, I'm getting bored with this conversation, and I'm getting bored with your stream. I'm gonna go do something.
oh, nice roast there, Dillard.
It's not roast. It's called being honest.
Well, with being honest, how about you be honest with what you would like to promote? If you want to
Oh,
promote anything,
I would like to
Dillard.
promote. I would like to promote my YouTube channel. It's called Dillard Draws. If you could go over to the YouTube channel Dillard Draws, I'll be streaming tomorrow.
Any idea what
yay.
time?
I believe noon.
Noon your time.
Yep.
Okay. And pastry,
So
anything
I guess
you
if you're in England, that would be, I don't know, 9 o'clock a.m. or
9 o'clock p.m. I think
p.m.
something like that. Pastry, anything you would
Look,
like
I
to
don't have all
promote?
the answers. I don't know where you live. We're on YouTube right now. People could be watching this all around the world. I can't think about everybody's timeline. I'm
Um,
gonna go. I'm gonna go live at noon my time, which is Pacific.
Dillard, why don't you just why don't you just set up your stream and then go ahead and have a link go to it so that people know what time you want your stream's gonna be without having
Hey,
them to.
pastry, why don't you get off my back? How about that?
I'm that's the I'm literally giving you YouTube advice right now from a person
Well, this
who
is the
is.
thing. If I do that and I feel like streaming, because that will take away one of my notifications, and if I stream multiple times tomorrow in my extravaganza return to YouTube, and then people might not get the notification.
Why
Yeah.
would you want to stream multiple times, Dillard?
Because I'm a dynamo. I'm a firecracker pastry. I can't be stopped.
Why would you want to do like a ton of tiny streams when you can just like do a 24-hour
Because who
stream,
wants all
huh?
these? If I do a marathon stream, people are gonna tell me, Dillard, I'm bored of your channel. I'm bored of your stream. I'm gonna go do something else.
Ugh. Damn.
I feel like we just talked about this.
Yeah. I swear, we're just going in circles.
Of course.
Yeah, Rick was trying to close the show. Rick, close the show.
Well,
No! Stop taking all of the time. Alrighty. So on what I would like to say is I stream every Thursday from my 4 p.m. to my 6 p.m. MST. And I have two shows that I alternate between this. This week's gonna be a cooking hobby review show episode. Yesterday was Pastry Stater, which basically was me reacting to my old videos and thinking, what was I doing back then? Other than that, there's nothing really going on. I'm really pushing for the stream shows again.
Cool. Okay, let's see. Just to get through the last few chats. Good Night Spoon says, one thing I've learned in the last year is that things that trigger you are the things you need to personally work on. Then Lorenzo puts a link to Dillard's channel. He did that a little bit before for pastries. He says, Good Night Spoon says, I'm in Nam. What time would that be? I don't know. And then Lorenzo puts a link to his show from last night. And then says, Good Night Spoon says there are no rules here, by the way, and that is
Yeah.
it. So,
My channel is more structured in stream rules.
yes. Everybody, if you haven't yet, go check out my Indiegogo for the Canadian Shield 2 and more, and watch out for it coming up next Thursday on Kickstarter. So thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks for Pastry and Dillard coming on, and thanks for Mike coming on for the bit that he did. We'll catch you all later. Bye for now. God bless. Love you all.
Bye.